born was 2006. This year is significant in many different ways. Starting on January 5th, when the Bush administration proposed spending $114 million to increase educational teachings of Arabic, Persian, Chinese, and other languages. This was deemed significant because these languages were generally not taught in schools before this point. On January 7th, House Majority Leader Tom DeLay announces that he will not seek to resume his previous position due to many scandals he was involved in during that time. On January 9th, Vice President Dick Cheney visits the hospital after complaining of shortness of breath. This was a side effect of a prescription drug he was on during that time to help with his chronic foot ailments. The White House deemed this visit absolutely necessary. On January 11th, Augustine volcano in Alaska erupts twice, becoming the first major eruption since 1986. On January 15th, NASA Stardust mission ends, successfully becoming the first to return dust from a comet. On January 19th, NASA launches the New Horizons spacecraft, which was set to orbit around Pluto and absorb the planet. On January 20th, Maryland judge strikes down the state law that prohibits same-sex marriage, thus deeming it unconstitutional. This was a major stepping stone in the decriminalization of same-sex marriage nationwide. On January 31st, Samuel Alito was sworn in as an associate judge for the Supreme Court. Also on January 31st, two federal appeals courts uphold rulings that the Partial Birth Abortion Act is unconstitutional because it does not include an exception for when the health of the mother is at risk. On February 2nd, Metropolitan Museum of Art says it would relinquish ownership of a 2,500-year-old vase to Italy after owning it for over 30 years. On February 5th, the Pittsburgh Steelers defeat the Seattle Seahawks by a score of 21-10 in the Super Bowl. February 6th through 21st, the U.S. competes in the Winter Olympics that were held in Italy that year. They won 9 gold, 9 silver, and 7 bronze medals. On February 11th, Vice President Cheney accidentally shoots a lawyer while quail hunting in Texas. On February 16th, the chairman of the Federal Reserve testifies in front of the U.S. Senate that Chinese ownership of U.S. assets is not enough to put the country at risk economically. Also on February 16th, the Department of Commerce reports that housing jumped 14.5% to a 33-year high in January. On March 2nd, the colorized $10 bill is released. On March 4th, the final attempt of contact with space probe Pioneer 10 receives no response. On March 14th, Crystal Massam makes rape accusations against 3 members of Duke University's lacrosse team. This marks the beginning of the Duke lacrosse case. On March 16th, the Blu-ray disc format is released. On April 4th, the first material action in the minor league umpire strike happens. On April 29th, massive anti-war demonstrations marched down New York City and marked the 3rd year of war in Iraq. On April 29th, on May 4th, the Great American Boycott takes place across the United States for immigration rights. On June 7th, Al-Qaeda leader and 7 of his aides are killed in a U.S. air raid. On June 19th, the Carolina Hurricanes defeat the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup. This was the Hurricanes' first win in the Stanley Cup. On June 23rd, the FBI arrests 3 men, accusing them of planning to bomb Sears Tower. On August 27th, Comar Flight 5191, carrying 550 people, crashes shortly after takeoff. On August 28th, a Greyhound Lines bus carrying 52 people crashes, killing 5 people and severely injuring many others. On September 4th, Steve Irwin dies by a stingray while filming Ocean's Deadliest. On September 8th, the world's largest living tree was discovered in the Redwood National Park. On September 15th, a spinach contaminated with E. coli kills 2 people and poisons up to 100 others. On October 6th, a hazardous waste plant near Apex, North Carolina explodes, releasing chlorine gas, resulting in the evacuation of thousands and hospitalizations of over 200 people. On October 10th, Google buys YouTube for $1.65 billion. On October 11th, a plane crashes into a New York City building, killing 2. On October 12th, the lake storm Aphid hits New York, leaving over 400,000 people without power and killing 13. On October 27th, the St. Louis Cardinals defeat the Detroit Tigers, winning their 10th World Series. On November 7th, the midterm elections result in the Democrats gaining control of both houses of Congress. On November 19th, the Nintendo Wii is released in America. On December 7th, smoking was banned in all Ohio bars, restaurants, and other public places. On December 13th, the U.S. Senator Tom Johnson suffers a brain hemorrhage during a conference call with reporters. On December 26th, former Vice President Gerald Ford dies at the age of 93. As you can see, the year that I was born, which was 2006, was very significant in many ways. Many major events happened throughout the year, and it was a very significant year overall. Thank you.